Today we're going to compare the Joolz Hub Plus and the Thule Shine, two smaller-sized urban-oriented strollers from premium manufacturers. So let's jump straight into it then, looking at the advantages and disadvantages of each model in turn, and focusing on their differences in terms of child comfort, ease of use, longevity, and driving characteristics, before ending with a discussion of under what conditions and uses one might make a better purchase over the other. And beginning with the Hub2, the model clocks in at 9.3 kilos and folds down to 66.5 by 52.5 by 29 centimeters. It can take 22 kilos in the seat and 10 kilos in the underslung storage basket. When it comes to child comfort, the Hub2 seat has a nicely vertical upright position and a newborn acceptable near-flat recline, while size-wise, it has an inside width of 29 centimeters and a total length for the sitting surface, meaning the combined lengths of the backboard, baseboard, and leg rest, of 93, as well as an extra 5 centimeters of length when folding down the leg rest and instead using the front frame mounted footrest. As far as other aspects of the seat are concerned, the textiles are premium feeling and well padded, and the harness is easy to use, with a 5-point buckle and no rethread shoulder straps. The canopy is extendable, provides very enclosing coverage, and has a ventilation panel in the extended section. In addition, the seat liner can be removed, which increases seat size a little and improves ventilation due to large mesh windows in the seat back. For the newborn period, in addition to that newborn acceptable recline, the Hub2 has a bassinet available, as well as car seat adapters that are compatible with a variety of brands. Looking at parent comfort, the Hub2's handle is adjustable between 93 and 109 centimeters in height, while the shopping basket is decently sized and relatively easy to access. The model can be folded down with one hand via a mechanism located on the central crossbar beneath the seat that's accessed from the front. When folded, the Hub2 can be carried either by the crossbar or via a stretchy shoulder strap that can be handy when you need to carry the model for longer periods, such as with crowded public transport. As far as how the Hub2 feels to use, it's well made and sturdy feeling, but the suspension is unfortunately too stiff, virtually unnoticeable in my opinion, and even though wheel size is acceptable for a model of this sort, 8 inches in the back and 6.4 in the front, it feels pretty jittery over even lighter rough terrain like gravel or dirt roads. In addition, despite being light to steer, its footprint is a bit long, making the Hub2 somewhat heavy to tip up curbs, at least when the seat is facing forwards with an older child. Moving on, the Shine clocks in at a slightly heavier 9.8 kilos and folds down to a larger 69 by 52 by 34 centimeters with the seat attached. It can take the same 22 kilos in the seat and 10 kilos in the underslung storage basket. With regards to child comfort, the Shine seat also has a good upright position, though while the recline is deep enough for older children, accessories are needed for use with a newborn. As far as seat size is concerned, the Shine has identical width to the Hub2, but it's a little longer both in terms of its sitting surface, as a result of an extra couple of centimeters with the length of the backrest, 56 versus 54 on the Hub2, as well as having a bit more leg room when folding down the leg rest and using the front frame mounted footrest. Looking at other aspects of the seat, the Shine's textiles aren't necessarily cheaper feeling than the Hub2 in terms of quality of materials, but they're not as soft nor quite as padded. In addition, though also technically a 5-point harness, the buckle takes a bit more effort to use, at least when dealing with the side straps. The canopy is a bit shorter when fully extended, though it still provides decent coverage in my opinion, and while there's a ventilation panel in the canopy, the Shine doesn't have additional ventilation in the seat back like the Hub2. For the newborn period, the Shine is compatible with the same range of car seats and can also be used with an infant seat insert, a soft bag, or a bassinet. Moving on to parent comfort, the Shine's handle has a lower range of handle height than the Hub2, between 94 and 105 centimeters, while the shopping basket is also nicely sized and even more open in the back due to a lower lip, though I'd note that this can sometimes lead to stuff falling out when negotiating curbs. As far as folding is concerned, the process is similarly one-handed with the Shine, but the fold is activated from the handle, which makes for a longer and more complex train of internal mechanisms that can lead to folding getting more fiddly over time as the chassis loosens up, and which is naturally less of a problem with the Hub2's centrally activated folding system. When folded, the Shine doesn't have a shoulder strap, but is still comfortable to carry for shorter distances via a handle on the underside of the seat. With regards to how the Shine feels to use, it has a chunkier, much more plastic feel than the Hub2, and even though it also feels generally sturdy, it's looser both with regards to the handle as well as the seat frame in its connection to the chassis. On top of this, despite having decent wheel size, 7 inches all round, suspension is unfortunately also too stiff with the Shine, and in my opinion, the model is equally, if not more jittery when negotiating rough ground, while a footprint that's similarly a bit on the long side can make tipping the model up curbs also a bit heavy, as with the Hub2. So which one of these should you get then? Price aside, the Hub2 is the better model in my opinion, having a more premium feel both with regards to its seat features as well as the design of the chassis, and also being built more durably. That being said, however, poor shock absorption is a limiting factor for both models, where either will really only be comfortable to use in smoother urban conditions, unlikely to put too much strain on these models anyway. And with a cost difference of around $250, the Shine may then also be worth considering for parents on a more limited budget. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as a sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about either of these models, we have standalone reviews that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page, which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.